On November 24th at 8:52 p.m. Eastern Time at 22 degrees of Scorpio, Mercury conjoins Venus. So when we have a conjunction, similar to the cazimi we were already talking about, similar to the new moon that we were already talking about, everything's a conjunction. That is when the two celestial bodies are at the same degree point of the same sign. So it means they are lined up. They're in the same spot. So Mercury has been retrograding. So on this day, it'll be at 22 degrees of Scorpio. Its retrograde ends, if you will, it stations direct when it backs up just 2 more degrees. It needs to get to 20 degrees of Scorpio, and then it's going to start going direct, and that will be the post shadow. Again, more details on that if you listen to my retrograde overview video. Venus is moving in direct motion. So it being at 22 degrees of Scorpio is telling you that, oh, pretty soon it's going to exit this sign and go into Sagittarius. So they are meeting at this certain point and then going to keep going and dipping around. And that's essentially what's going to happen with these two planets. So Mercury, which represents the communication, the intellectual, the processing, also transportation, also technology. Venus is balance, harmony, values, relationships, and money. Covers a lot. The last time, I looked this up, the last time this conjunction happened in Scorpio, so you can look back at this date. Again, this is like a needle in a haystack situation. You're going to a very specific date years ago, but you never know. Maybe you will find something. October 30th of 2019. So if you flip back in your calendar or your emails or journal or whatever you have on hand, October 30th, 2019 is the last time we had a Mercury-Venus conjunction in Scorpio. What we can expect, and maybe you'll find this when you look back if you have notes, and otherwise what we can expect on this day with this fusion of the two energies. It's the mind, it is the peace and balance, it is our mind and processing in retrograde, so dysfunctional, in Scorpio. And Scorpio, of course, is the truth, is the intuition, is the darkness, the fears, the spirituality, the occult. There's so many things happening, lots of different dynamics. And on the high level, when we have a Mercury-Venus conjunction, what we anticipate is that what we will be talking about and thinking about, reflecting on, because it's retrograde, reflecting on, or revisiting in conversations, is our principles. What are our values? What are our, like I would say, belief system is more in the Sagittarius Jupiter wing, so we're not going that far. But it's what do we find valuable? What do we find important? What do we stand on with our principles? Thinking about, reconsidering, centering in our lives, relaxation, and creative expression. Great opportunity to pull out those hobbies. Sit there. Maybe we can't speak or communicate clearly because we're still in retrograde, but we can find a way to express and to channel, and it can help us to relax, clear the fog of our mind. So we can have a lot of benefits all around to aid with what our Mercury retrograde mind is doing, and have Venus come in and support that. So again, it's not as much of a relief as the cazimi day, which we'll have already experienced, but it will help soften it so we feel a little bit better as long as we are tending to it. That's what Venus is bringing. It's ease, and it's wanting to take care of ourselves. So another thing that we can expect is that we are looking around. Again, this is reflection because of the Mercury retrograde. We're looking around and we're taking inventory of the relationships that we have, specifically in this Scorpio area of our chart. So we want to look at 22 degrees of Scorpio. Which house is that in? Those are the relationships that we are looking at. So I'll give as an example. If it's the 4th house, what is your relationship, the status of it? How's it doing? How's it balanced or not? How's the communication with your caretakers, aka your parents, people that raised you? What is your relationship with your house? So on and so forth with all the different areas of the chart. So because we're talking about a retrograde Mercury, we're not taking action really. Nothing about this conjunction is calling us to do anything. We're stewing, we're thinking, we're reflecting, and Venus is like, just chill out while you're doing it. Express yourself, but maybe you don't use words. Maybe you draw something, create something, craft something, listen to music, maybe dance, maybe move your body, whatever it is to express, because words are not really coming to you, and that's okay. But we can still have a deeper understanding of what is going on in our relationship with ourselves, our relationship with others, our relationship with whatever those concepts are in that area of our chart. And just, again, try to take it easy. For me, I have it in the 5th house. So that would be, I literally gave the example earlier of creativity. I'll tell you what I was doing right before this is I bought myself some Christmas gifts. So let me say that back. I did buy myself a gift, but it's my journal for next year. But I bought Christmas gifts that I'm going to be crafting. 5th house is about creativity, pleasure, play. And in recent months, for anyone that follows me on social media, you've seen I've started learning embroidery. So there's all these little embroidery kits. So I was gifting those last year. And so I finally started working on them. So I was thinking, oh, it'd be great if I could craft some things as Christmas gifts, because you can get ones that aren't like ridiculously expensive, but then you're spending all that time making it. So it becomes a more valuable gift than whatever it is that you bought for it, because you spent all of those hours doing it. So in the mail, literally yesterday, and what I was doing right before this was I started working on one of them. So I will no doubtedly next week be spending a lot of time, and for the weeks going forward, on all of these different crafts, because I haven't even received all of them yet. I just received 2. So I'm going to be definitely spending time away from work. So I was saying this to a friend this morning, the fact that part of the reason I thought to get these is because it would give me the excuse, give me like, oh, well, this is a thing to work on because this is due. Like I have to have it for Christmas. I have to wrap them. I have to have them done. So then I will stop myself from the temptation of getting on my computer and working after hours. Instead, it's like, I got to keep my hands busy working on these crafts. So retrograde or not, I think this is kind of a good example of I've been having this ongoing activation in this area of my chart, and some might say, well, we are in Scorpio season. So for all of these transits we've been talking about today that have happened in Scorpio, if you're already feeling a bit of the energy of that sign, it's likely because we're in Scorpio season, and it's because the sun is there, and because we've had Venus in there, and we had Mars in there. So this area has been engaged for an extended period of time, and it will continue to be for a little bit longer. Jackie, mine is 7th still. Mercury is at 24, Uranus at 20. So what you could have come up for you on that day, again, is support in definitely the emphasis on thinking. So you're in and around the time of a Mercury return, maybe some days before. Actually, no, some days after. So shortly after this, you'll have the, let me think, hold on, let me think about this. You already would have had it because it retrograded. So you would have already had maybe any time now. You have to check when the Mercury transited retrograde Mercury transited over that 24 degrees, but then it's going to hit it again. I think we talked about this in the retrograde class. So have that date marked. But then having Uranus there too, it's like Venus wants everybody to relax and chill. Uranus wants things to change. Mercury wants to understand, reflect, and think on things, to talk about things. But we're being encouraged to slow down, kick back, and take it easy. So because we're talking about the seventh house, then it's how can we bring that ease? How could we have maybe lighter, playful conversations that are still scratching the itch of wanting to shift and change something? Given that all of this is coming on the backs of the new moon, the Kazemi, like, because all of this is happening in that same sign, some different degree points there. Again, paying attention to these last degree points of Scorpio because they are being repeatedly activated over the next week. So you're calling things in, you're realizing, you're learning, you're understanding, and you're being asked to then rest. We're never anywhere being asked to actually do anything other than put the stuff out there, put something out there into the universe, or maybe have a conversation. And then just sit back and try to take care of yourself and try to rest and recuperate. And then in short time, Mercury will station direct and we can start thinking clearly in a more stable, steady way.